Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Just welcome to my channel if you are new here, and in this video I'm going to be drawing more Toothless and Hiccup because I'm in a mood. This fire has been reignited and I'm kind of obsessing over How to Train Your Dragon again, okay? And I might have mentioned in my last video about how obsessed I was with this movie, but we're gonna kind of reiterate a little bit because I did miss out something, miss a couple things. But I watched the first movie probably about, I would say, a good 40 times. I lost track at 33 because I was like keeping track, but I lost track, so it's probably well over that, probably like 40 or maybe even more. Watched the second and third movie only twice, once in theaters and then once after. I kind of always want to watch them again though. And I watched some of like the first series, I forgot what it was called, I'm gonna be real, Race to the Edge or something like that. That might be the other series, I don't remember, but I watched like a season and a half of that and one short, the Christmas short, the first Christmas short, where Hiccup makes Toothless that tail fin that doesn't require him to fly, but like Toothless could fly without Hiccup, but Toothless didn't want it. It was that one, I forgot what it was called. And Gift of the Night Fury, that's what it's called, the Gift of the Night Fury. And then over the years, I've collected a lot of How to Train Your Dragon stuff. Some of these were kind of after I was not as obsessed with these movies, but most of it I got when I was obsessed, okay? There's one Toothless plush that I think came a little bit later, but I still love him to death. And so I have 3 Toothless plushies, one Toothless toy, another little toy that's like kind of a couple different dragons, and like little traps. I think it's from one of the second or third movie. So I have like a couple toys, 3 plushies, a bed set that I still use, I still have. I mostly use it during winter time, I feel like, because I have another comforter that I tend to use more. Lately though, I've been kind of just using it a lot. It's from the first movie. It has like a first movie image on it, so it's pretty old. And I have the bed set. I have the Art of How to Train Your Dragon book 1 and 2. The way I obsessed over those for so long, I would just look at them all the time. I tried to look for the third one to see maybe I could finally finish my collection. The Art of How to Train Your Dragon 3, The Hidden World, and I'm like, tell me why this book can hardly be found anywhere, and when you do find it, it's like $500 or more. Probably never completing that collection, but it's okay. I also have the soundtrack to the first movie. I have like the disc, like the physical copy of that. Wore that thing out. Okay, I have this Sony Walkman CD player. I still have it. It was my best friend up until I got my MP3 player. And among other CDs that I would listen to on repeat, the How to Train Your Dragon soundtrack was one of them, okay? I would listen to it on repeat all the time, beginning to end. It's practically like watching the movie because I can imagine every single scene. And back then I had like the whole script memorized, that I could pretty much just like quote it and imagine it in my head with the music. But anyway, what else? So I have this, you know, like the How to Train Your Dragon Live Spectacular they had at some point. It was like a stage play. Musical. They have this little mug that I really wanted from that. I didn't go see it, so I think we got it online. I don't remember if I bought it myself or if my mom bought it for me for like a gift, but it's the cutest thing ever. It's like Toothless looking into like a little mug, and I think I only ever used it once for soda, but like I think it's more decorative, so I don't really use it. Anything else? Oh, I made paper dolls. I think I mentioned that in the last video. The first ones were crappy because I didn't know how to draw, and which is another reason why I watched the movie so much, to get every detail, but as I got details down with Toothless, I started drawing him better. I made quite a few. The last one I made was in 2013, but of course, like, they would fall apart because they're paper, and so when they started falling apart to the point where I couldn't replace them anymore, I would make another one. If I get a picture, I'll put it here. If I don't, I'm sorry, but I kind of want to take them out anyway, so at the time of this recording, I haven't dug them out yet, so I'll see if I can find my most recent Toothless and post him. They all had a Hiccup too, but my brother made Hiccup, so I don't know if he'd want me to show that. But I don't think he's not the best artist ever now, so I don't know if he would want me to show his art. He might be embarrassed. But I wasn't very confident in drawing people back then. That's why he made Hiccup, which you could tell he got better as they went, but he still kind of draws like he did then because he never drew like I did. You know, he wasn't improving and drawing all the time for me. But his last Hiccup though was pretty decent. But I also made a saddle for this thing, okay? I made a paper doll Toothless. He's probably a good 2 feet long, give or take. And I made a harness. It's not like a working harness, obviously, but it did have all the things, like it had little stirrups. And if you've positioned Hiccup just perfectly on it, you can get his feet to slip into the stirrups. And I had the string, like I had this like little thread. It was like this thicker thread running along as the string to like control the tail. Yeah, it was a pain, but those things always kind of like fell apart, and I never really repaired it, I don't think, so yeah, but anyway, so I have Toothless paper dolls that I made. I spent my time to make those because I loved it so much. Okay, it only originally started making paper dolls because we didn't have any toys at the time, so we just made them ourselves basically. And we did have a lot of other characters too after that last Toothless. I kind of just started making all the paper dolls, even the people, because I got better at drawing people at that point, and we would just make it for other things that we were obsessed with at the time or into. I almost feel like I haven't obsessed over something like I'm obsessed over How to Train Your Dragon. Now, when I obsess over something, I draw those characters repeatedly. So another thing on the list is I drew them repeatedly. But I think that's about all my How to Train Your Dragon. So while I would make iron-on shirts, like I said, I would use some of my drawings and iron them onto shirts, wear them. Yeah, but that was a lot of my How to Train Your Dragon stuff I collected, and I would draw them repeatedly. Like, not only Toothless, but I would make up my own dragons. It was like that's really sparked the height of my dragon phase. Like, I always loved fantasy, but I was drawing dragons all the time and dragon riders. Not necessarily Vikings, just dragon riders. And then I would draw Hiccup and Toothless all the time, non-stop, repeatedly, and that's kind of what I want to do right now, so that's why I can tell I'm re-obsessed. But I've done that with other characters too. Like in my Lord of the Rings phase, I would draw Legolas a lot, because he's my favorite, and but I still don't feel like, I don't know, my Lord of the Rings phase kind of comes close to how obsessed I was with How to Train Your Dragon, because I do have a lot of art of books from, like the art of books from The Hobbit. They have a whole collection of those things, but and I would draw up the characters repeatedly, so that probably is the next biggest obsession I had. But How to Train Your Dragon Fire has laid dormant all this time, and like over the years I would, you know, see a picture of Toothless or something, like, oh, I forgot how cute he is, and kind of just move on. But like I said, lately with all this hype for this live action, it made me want to watch the original. I watched the original with some friends. Oh my goodness, something happened, guys. When I watched that movie, I don't even have words. I don't even have words for how nostalgic it was, guys. It felt like an old friend. Now, I don't have the whole script memorized like I used to, but I still could tell what was coming. You know, like some of them, the lines came back, but a lot of it was almost like a song. Like, I couldn't really remember the lyrics, but I could follow the melody, if that makes sense. Like, I can follow the flow of the lines. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but either way, the whole movie felt like an old friend that I hadn't seen in ages, because it had been a hot minute since I watched that. We used to be watching that like every year for my birthday too, for like 5 or 6 years. It's like, I see why my little kid self wanted to watch that thing a million times over, because I kind of just want to watch it a million times over, but I don't have the time to do that. I feel whack, because like I'm a grown adult here obsessing over this, but it's my childhood, guys. It's my childhood. Toothless is the cutest thing ever. I want to just draw him repeatedly now, and I want to show the world how cute he is, even though they know that already. And I'm just like, watch him interact with Hiccup over here. It's the most cutest thing you'll ever see in your life, okay? You can't tell me otherwise. I wanted a Night Fury so bad when I was little, guys. You don't even know. It's not even funny. I wanted a horse up until I wanted a Night Fury. It's like, oh my goodness. Well, my little kid self didn't realize the care that you'd have, like the work that would go into having a horse. I realize that now, so I don't know if I want one now. If I had a horse, I'd have to be wealthy enough to hire someone to help me take care of it, because I don't know if I would. I'd probably be a very bad caretaker, I'm not gonna lie. No, a cat's probably about all I can handle. You know, another thing I wanted a black cat to name it Toothless, so because I felt like that was the closest thing I would get to getting a Night Fury. Didn't get a black cat, but we got a cat. It's okay though, because she's so cute now. Anyways, all that to say, I love this movie, and I've just been watching clips of like Hiccup and Toothless interacting. It just makes me want to draw them more. But I feel like I've already drawn them and doing a lot of things, but that was like 10 years ago, over 10 years ago when I last drew them, so I guess I could just kind of redraw these things. And yeah, so I've also been watching a lot of like nerdy videos on the music of this movie. And like, I love the soundtrack already. I already knew it was awesome. I already knew it went with the story very well. But I didn't really like realize all the little details that made it so great. And so it's kind of cool learning about it. And also, a lot of people, they would say that this was actually John Powell's like first composition that he directed all by himself. Like, he'd been on other soundtracks before, but he was like the co-director. Kind of like just a helper. But this was his first like solo, like where he was the director of the music. And he blew it out of the park, you know? Blew it so out of the park. Like, whenever you hear this, oh my gosh. I forgot to mention that, and my other obsessive tendency when I was little was I would be humming this soundtrack all the time. And even to this day, it's just in my random, if I just start humming a tune, it just randomly is How to Train Your Dragon soundtrack, because it's ingrained in my brain now. I would usually do Test Drive because I love that track. It's also like the easiest one to whistle because I kind of took up whistling now. I whistle a lot more than I hum because I don't know. I heard someone else humming before. I'm like, it almost sounds like chewing, and I'm like, I don't want to make people deal with that, so I start whistling instead. Or I'll go na 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 na, sing with nanas, I guess. But or la dee dee da. But anyway, to Test Drive, for not Forbidden Friendship, Romantic Flight is also pretty easy to whistle. I'll do the intro. I love the intro before it hits the battle theme, the This Is Berk. Oh my goodness. Like where Hiccup's dialogue is, where his intro is. I just love that piece. And then, what's another one that I usually whistle? Usually whistle a little intro, the This Is Berk, Test Drive, Romantic Flight, The Vikings Have Their Tea, which I don't think is really in the movie, like as its own solo track. Is integrated in a lot of the other tracks, I noticed. Like in the beginning, the whole battle in the beginning, some of the dialogue between Hiccup and Clobber, you kind of hear that the Vikings have their tea if you know what it sounds like. Which, like I said, I listened to that soundtrack repeatedly. The Vikings Have Their Tea is the last track. It goes like da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 da. Sorry for the horrible singing, but that's basically what it is. And if you know what it sounds like, you can kind of hear it in the other tracks, like integrated. I can't think of a time where it was kind of just by itself. Maybe it was, I just missed it or don't remember. But anyway, those are like the ones I like to whistle. Every now and again I'll try See You Tomorrow, but that thing's so hard to whistle. Like dun 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 dun. I slowed that down because I can't do it as fast as an instrument. But that part's always so harsh. I can do the rest, but that part. And Forbidden Friendship is probably like my favorite track. I can't whistle that one. It's a little too slow. That it would kind of sound like, I could probably try to sing it, but like with the da 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 da. But like I probably couldn't whistle it. But I do love See You Tomorrow, and I love the outro. I forgot what it was called, but like the end track when he's doing the outro, it's like Test Drive, but it swells. It swells so beautifully, and just it elevates, guys. It's so orchestral. Feels like a big triumphant win. And I love it. I love it so much. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love it so much, okay? And I mean, I'm sure if you're a music buff and you listen to this track and you don't know anything about where it's from, you don't know the story, you never watched the movie, you don't know the characters, I'm sure you would still get chills. But I feel like the nostalgia that I have connected to these tracks, and like if you watch the movie, you know the characters that it's connected to, the story that it's telling, and you were obsessed with it when you were younger, you have like an extra, like I feel like I have an extra layer of chills that I feel when I hear these tracks. They're so epic just on their own, but when you know what they're attached to, and you have this nostalgia attached to them, when you hear that Test Drive come on, that big vroom, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Oh my goodness. Sorry, that's a terrible impersonation or whatever, singing of that, but I've tried, okay? It's just, I don't have words, guys. I love it. I just love it so much. Love it so much. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking really low, but I kind of can't help it when I'm like doing this in the morning. I record in the morning a lot and it's very quiet. I don't want to like be loud. Anyway, I've been listening to a lot of like nerdy videos on the music and what makes it great, and it's kind of cool seeing all the like little details. Like I said, I already knew it was great. I loved it, and I also was reading. Well, a lot of things they would say too is there's like I don't know these terms, okay? I think it was like the flying ostinato and then like the flying theme. And the ostinato is what a lot of people like to call Toothless's theme, and the flying theme is like what a lot of people like to call Hiccup's theme. And the Toothless, it's kind of like easier to call them that because I don't want to be like saying stuff that I don't know what I'm talking about, like ostinato. But like that's the like da 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 da. That's the flying ostinato and like Toothless's theme, air quotes. Then you have the other part, the da 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 that part, and so on and so forth. And the big dum 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 da dum. That's like the other flying theme. And it's just kind of cool when they kind of like culminate. And those two themes were kind of, John Powell was trying to make them sound like you're flying, which is why it kind of fits so well and gives you that rush when you're watching Test Drive, because it feels like you're flying, it sounds like flying. And I don't know, guys, it's really cool if you guys want to go look at that kind of stuff. If you're a big music nerd, you probably like it. I don't know half of these terminologies, but I still feel like they explain it well enough where I understand what they're saying, you know what I mean? No, when they start talking about like notes and stuff, I don't know about that. But then, yeah, it's really cool, and it's to kind of learn as to like why I love this music so much. But yeah, you know, one thing I never did, this is like way talking about, I'm skipping back to when I was all the things I have from How to Train Your Dragon Cape. One thing I never did was play games. I don't know why. I think a lot of them are console games, that's why, but there was like the School of Dragons, which I think I was just always scared to try because I knew it was like a big multiplayer game. I was just shocked. Unfortunately, that one has shut down recently, which I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing that I didn't play it, because I heard it was a little bit like a lot of stuff was locked behind a paywall. But also, like, imagine if I spent money on that and then it closed down. But anyway, I kind of wish there was some How to Train Your Dragon games to play that weren't console only, because I don't have those consoles. But anyway, skipping back, something else I want to talk about, the live action again. Why did they even make it? Oh, you know what? I also forgot to mention that I have the first How to Train Your Dragon book, like the actual book it was based off of. I read that first book. I did not like it. It was so different from the movie. For once in my life, I actually would say that the movie was better than the book. Now I'm very, 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 very happy that book exists. I'm very glad Cressida Cowell wrote it, because if she did not write that book, we would not have this masterpiece of an animated film. I love that film so much, okay? So I'm really glad this book exists, but just, there's so much, like, I won't say potty talk, but like name calling and potty talk. Toothless was like a little brat. Like literally, he was a brat. And he was like, the Terrible Terror is basically what Toothless looked like in the books. And I don't know, it wasn't for me, okay? So I'll probably keep that first book though, just to kind of have it in my stash of How to Train Your Dragon stuff that I have. But I probably won't ever get the rest. And I probably won't ever read again. The only other book that I feel like one of the original How to Train Your Dragon books I kind of would like to get though, because I think it's kind of a standalone like companion to the series. I'm not sure, I have to look into it, but I think it's like a Book of Dragons that Cressida Cowell wrote. I would kind of like to get that, I'm not gonna lie, because I wouldn't mind seeing all the different dragons she came up with. But they also have the Book of Dragons for the movies and now the live action, but I never did get those, unfortunately. But that was another thing I did get, was the first original How to Train Your Dragon book. And like I said, I'm very glad it was written, glad it exists. Not my favorite, I kind of think the movie's better, not gonna lie. I'm sorry, but I'm very happy it exists, because otherwise the movie would not exist, and I wouldn't be making this video right now. Anyway, was there anything else? The live action, why they made it? I don't know why they made it, okay? I haven't seen it. I don't care to see it. I really don't. Like I said in my last video, all the hype around it just kind of made me want to watch the original. And like I said, I did, and now I'm re-obsessed. Something happened this time that reignited this fire full blast. And I would hear, like, my brother saw the live action with some friends. He said it was okay. It wasn't anything great. It was okay, but like when he rewatched the original recently with me, he kind of realized just how much it was missing. Like, it didn't have the charm, and it didn't have the oomph, it didn't have like the character that the original had, but like it was okay, you know. I hear a lot of other people say that too. Like, some people say it's great for a remake, some people say it's okay, but it's not the original, obviously. Some people put it pretty high though, and I'm sorry, but I see these trailers and clips and stuff. It just looks like the original, both the life sucked out of it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the actors and stuff who put their hard work into this, but it wasn't them. It was freaking DreamWorks. Why did they decide to do this, okay? You know what I would have liked better? I can't remember if I mentioned this already, but I would have liked it if they reran the 3 originals in theaters, just like a How to Train Your Dragon marathon. That now, if they hyped that up, I would want to go see it, you know. I never got to see the first movie in theaters. I would have loved to do that. But no, they made a remake instead. A live action one. And it was funny because I was watching this video. It was an old video like 3 years ago. And the guy was saying that there was, I think he was talking about like a knockoff, How to Train Your Dragon knockoff, but he was talking about how to Train Your Dragon, there's like this one little part, he said that it was meant for animation. You can't, there's just so many things in there you can't do in live action, and that's why they chose to make it animation, as opposed to the knockoff thing that he was talking about, which could have easily been live action or whatever. And I'm like, ha ha ha, well, they still attempted to make it live action 3 years later. Why, I don't know. And I agree. There's some things that you can only do in animation, and I've seen other people too who review this live action that say that too, that's just sometimes it looks a little corny when real people are like acting like this. That makes sense. But yeah, I don't ever plan on seeing the live action. I don't really care to at all. And I watched like so many reviews. Some people say it's really good, some people say it's not. Some people, I feel like the more like diehard fans who are more like obsessed with this movie like me, they were like sorely disappointed, and so I'm like, well, I'm just not gonna watch it then. If I happen to watch it in passing, like friends want to watch it, like non-theaters, probably like, you know, years later or whatever, but I will always choose the original. I probably will forget that the live action even exists. I'm sorry to the people who put their hard work into it, but not for me. Okay, now someone said this, and I think a couple people might have seen it on Twitter too, but saying that the live action movie was kind of just a big old advertisement for their new theme park they opened up. And I mean, I guess I can kind of see that, because they opened up the park and then a month later they kind of released the movie. But I'm gonna be real, guys, they wouldn't have had to, they didn't need to do a live action to advertise that place. I saw clips from people going there, like the early access opening or whatever, and I'm like, bro, I want to go. And I'm not even like a theme park person. Like, I like theme parks, but not like Disneyland where they have the characters walking around. I don't know, my little kid self, and even my current self, just never really liked the big like fursuit, I guess you could say, styled costumes. And like the cosplay costumes, okay, but like people acting in character was kind of like creeped me out. I don't know, it wasn't like for me. Now I kind of, as I grew up, I kind of appreciate cosplay more, but like still like the big ol' like a Mickey Mouse costume or something would freak me out still. So my little kid self wasn't one for these kind of theme parks. But I'm gonna be real, my little kid self would have loved that one. I would have made an exception for How to Train Your Dragon theme park, okay? I would make an exception, and I will make an exception now, because How to Train Your Dragon is my childhood, guys. The only thing is, I don't know if, like, because all the characters, you know, the actors are acting in character, and then they be calling you Viking all the time and stuff. I'm like, do I act in character? Like, I would be so awkward. Like, do I have to act in character? Can I break the fourth wall and tell them, hey, this movie, which is their universe, you know? And those are actors, they know what I'm talking about, but, you know, in character, they don't know what I'm talking about. I'd be like, it was my childhood. If I say this movie was my childhood, you know? When I was a kid, I always wanted Night Fury. Like, I'm gonna be like, am I breaking the fourth wall? You know? I mean, obviously the actors know what I'm talking about, but, you know, they're in character, and so, like, do I stay in character? I don't know, I'll be so awkward. But I'm gonna be real, I know it's just a big old puppet, and probably a soundboard for the noises, but if I gotta touch that puppet Toothless, like meet Toothless, I'd probably about cry. I'm gonna be real. I don't know, I might not, but like, if I ever do manage to go, I will let you all know. If petting Toothless, even though he's a big puppet, made me cry or not. But anyway, dude, Toothless is my, like, I love him so much. Like I said, I want a Night Fury so bad. They're so cute. He's like a big old puppy dog, and he's a cat, and he's like a horse, all rolled into one, guys. He has, let's see, he has like the playfulness and charm, you know, and like the loyalty of like a dog. He has like the elegant grace of a cat, and then he's like a big and strong like a horse, and you can ride him, and it's just, and I always felt like, well, some people diss on cats for some reason, but I feel like dogs and horses always get a good rap for being like a man's best friend. Like a horse is almost like the next best thing to a dog or something like that, you know? Cats are too, guys. Cats are amazing. I love cats. And but he's like all three rolled into one, guys. And he's also very smart. Best dragon ever. And he's adorable. Just like a cat. Anyway, unfortunately the Universal theme park or whatever it's called, I forgot what it's called already, but it's in Orlando, Florida. It's a ways away, and it's very expensive. Probably ain't gonna go anytime soon, but I'm gonna make it a bucket list item. One day I'm gonna make it where I can go. I'm gonna plan this out all good, and hopefully I'll have some cute outfits. Maybe I'll vlog it. Who knows? I always want to make like a vlog channel, but I don't have anything to vlog right now. Foreshadowing, hopefully, in the future. Well, future me can look back and see my foreshadowing, hopefully. Anyway. Anyway, guys, I think this is probably enough rambling. Let me just tell you a little bit about the drawings themselves. So this first Toothless drawing, I kind of just want to draw Toothless again, but I also want to draw Toothless and Hiccup. I was trying to figure out like a pose for them, like a flying pose, but I don't know, I was having a hard time figuring out finding one I liked. And so on the like doodle page, I was kind of like doodling, you know, thumbnailing these things, and I kind of doodled this little drawing of Toothless. I'm like, you know, I kind of like that. Let me draw that. So that's what the first big drawing is. It's just Toothless standing there, basically being cute. But I did want to draw him with Hiccup, so I made a doodle page, and a couple of those doodles have Hiccup in them. And those doodles, I kind of just wanted to play around too with the lighting and stuff, because I feel like I could have been harsher on the lighting, like made it a little more contrasting. Oh my goodness, my neighbor just booed up their loud as heck car, so I'm sorry. You probably heard it. And yeah, so what was I saying? The doodle page. Well, I feel like I could have done more intense lighting and shading stuff. I still was playing around with lighting, because I feel like, I don't know, lighting Toothless in warm light for some reason was giving me trouble. I was like kind of afraid it was gonna make him look too brown, but then I tried it, I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. I just kind of kept the shadows cool, lighting warm. Like I said, I think that warm lit Toothless is kind of honestly the best lit one, but I feel like I could have gone a little more harsher, like more contrasty on the shading, but I was doodling, and so I'm like, whatever, and it was all in one layer, so like all the colors and light and shadow was all in one layer, except I did put an overlay layer over everything to kind of give it a little bit more pop of the shadow, just to kind of intensify the shadow in life, if that makes sense. But I was doing this to the doodle, I was trying to do it quickly, you know. I do already have a short of this doodle page up if you want to go watch that, but it's basically the same thing. So anyway, now the main Toothless drawing, I did try to do a little bit more better shading, because I'm gonna be real, at the time of this recording it is not finished yet, but I'm telling myself now that I'm gonna try to do better shading and lighting. But anyway, yeah, so that's just a little bit about the drawings. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I know this was just a big old video about me rambling about How to Train Your Dragon, how great it is, and how obsessed I am with it. Like I said earlier, the fire has been reignited. All I want to do is watch the movie and draw the characters. Unfortunately, I don't have the time that I did when I was a kid, so I can't really do that, but you can probably expect at least a couple more How to Train Your Dragon Speedpaint videos or something in the future. I might try doing like crossovers or something, we'll see. But anyway, again, like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you like this video, and I do have a Redbubble and a Zazzle store if you want to check those out. I'll put the links in the description. Anyway, guys, I guess that's all for now. I hope you all enjoyed it, and until next time, bye bye.